I'm back again this week, and this week I'm reading from Tessa's perspective, and it is the follow-up scene from last week, so I hope you enjoy. I'm up to my elbows in soap suds, sweat trickling down my temple when the doorbell rings. Perfect. I shake water off my hands, eyes searching for a dish towel. Nothing. The doorbell peals again, followed by pounding. Reaching into a drawer to my right, I yank out a towel and wipe my hands as I jog through the house to the door. A quick peek out the minuscule window at eye level, and I fumble with the handle. Hey, Jules, did I forget you were coming over? Julia, eyes red-rimmed, steps inside. Sorry to impose. Her voice wobbles. I didn't know who else to talk to. An adrenaline rush kicks my heart into overtime. Is it Max, Julia's parents? You're never an imposition. What's going on? Where's Max? I take her arm and lead her to the couch where we sink together side by side. Tears well in her eyes. He's at the Sitters. She sniffles and snatches her purse from the floor where she dropped it. Not that I can afford to leave him there. I should have picked him up before coming here. She pulls out a crumpled tissue and dabs at her eyes and nose. But I didn't want him to see me this way. You're scaring me, Jules. What's going on? It's obviously not Max. Did something happen to your parents? No. Sniff. They cut my hours. Her voice cracks and she looks at me with watery red eyes. Can you believe it? My paycheck barely covers rent as it is, and Max needs school clothes. She waves her tissue-clad hand around. Not to mention food. How are we going to eat? Wait a minute. I take her hand and tug to get her attention. Slow down. Why'd they cut your hours? I thought you were their only bookkeeper. I am, but Dr. Hollister's decided to retire, so they only need me part-time. After all these years, she blows her nose. What am I going to do? It's a God thing. At least that's what Dad would say. Come work for me. Sniff. You? Like you need a teacher's assistant. I shake my head. No, silly. The restaurant. What? Sure. Jake was just saying we're short-staffed. I don't know, Tess. I'm no waitress. Who said anything about waitressing? We might need a chef, and you can cook. And by the looks of the mess Jake's made of the accounting, we could use a bookkeeper, too. What about Maris? Long story. Don't you think you should check with Jake first? I'm the owner, not him. I sound like a 5-year-old. What is it about Jake that hurdles me back to childhood? I'm doing what my dad demanded, aren't I? Julia raises her hands. Don't get your dander up. I just thought you stepped away from the restaurant is all. Sore subject. Apparently. Do you want the job or not? What is it exactly? A cook? A bookkeeper? What'll my hours be? I mean, if I have to work nights, I'll need to find childcare. Reality sours my already surly attitude. You'll have to ask Jake. Boy, if that doesn't sting. She throws her hands up. Make up your mind, Tess. Are you in charge or aren't you? Rattling in the kitchen draws my attention. Katie, is that you? Sleepy-eyed, hair in a tangle, Katie appears in a rumpled nightshirt. What's going on? I make a point of checking my watch. 10 o'clock. Late night? She fists her eyes like a toddler, which makes it difficult to reconcile Jake's earlier revelation. Is it possible he's wrong? I closed last night. Sounds like you did more than that. Katie swings and retreats, hair flying behind her. I think it's time I scoot. Julia stands, reaching for her purse. Go by Bella's first chance you get. Jake will give you the paperwork you need. Eyebrows raised, she catches my eye. You sure? Positive. Okay, see ya. She looks toward the kitchen. See ya, Katie. Katie's response is an unintelligible mumble. After I see Julia out, I head for the kitchen to battle Katie's teenage angst. Leaning against the counter, I watch her for a moment as she collects cereal from one cupboard and a bowl from another. She's a child, yet she's not. So much more mature in some ways than I. I suppose you're going to chew me out too. She pops open the cereal box and unfolds the waxed paper lining. Two? As if I don't know who she's referring to. You guys act like I'm a kid. I haven't even said anything yet. I shift so my backside is against the counter and cross my arms. Sounds like you did more than that, she mimics in a falsetto, all but sticking her tongue out at me. I shake my head. Wow, you might want to rethink the strategy. I mean, if that's your idea of a mature attitude. She slams the box down with a sigh and an eye roll. Is it true? Did Jake catch you making out with Tony in the alley last night? Catch me? Another eye roll. You act like I did something illegal. We were just kissing, so what? Pushing away from the counter, I face Katie. You have no business kissing? She groans. What's the big deal anyway? He's too old for you. So if he was 17, it would be okay for me to be making out with him? If Dad were here, which he's not. Her voice cracks and she swings her head, looking toward the window. Katie pushing to date Tony is only a surface issue. There are layers below I have no idea how to uncover. What good is a degree in psychology if I can't reach my baby sister? I know you miss Dad, Kit Kat. Tears clog my throat and I fist my hand. If I reach for her, she'll only push me away. And you don't? Of course I do. You don't act like it. Things aren't always what they seem. Batting at the tears on her cheeks, she looks at me. What's that supposed to mean? Involving yourself in this relationship with Tony won't make you miss Dad any less. How do you know? It's not like you've ever had a boyfriend. The crack of her words forces me back a step, the sting every bit as painful as a slap in the face. When did she learn to be cruel? It takes a moment to find my words and superhuman strength to keep my tone level. Attacking me isn't going to change anything. Are you laying down the law? Arms folded, hip jutting, she's issuing a challenge. You have no business dating or hanging out with anyone 4 years your senior. You're just jealous, she mutters. Heat steals up my neck and into my cheeks. In the time it took her to spew venom, I have been rendered a sad and wretched Miss Havisham. If only I had Charles Dickens to write me out of this scenario. And that's the end of that scene. Hope you enjoy and come back next week. Thanks.